Dan, you're back on Truth Wanted right now. You're live. What's going on, Daniel from Canada?
I just thought I'd call it about the, what was going on in New Jersey and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
You want to tell the folks at home? Well, I'll tell you. There are many reports right now of drones, unmanned drones maybe, but drones nonetheless, that have been sighted in the New Jersey skyline. The United States, I can't remember which department, but has come out and said, hey, these aren't ours, so we don't know what's going on, which is interesting. So I'm sure you have some thoughts about that, Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like a good old fashioned UFO flap. That's what they would call it in the 1950s, right?
A UFO flap? Hold on, I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, me either. What's a flap?
That's a thing?
No.
It's a good old fashioned UFO flap, you see. I could definitely see it.
Yeah.
Check out the gams on that UFO. They're giving me the vapors. That's awesome. I love 50 slang. Anyway.
Yeah, for sure. No, look it up. 1950s. It was around Washington, D.C., and there were UFOs buzzing the White House. And there was a lot of talk and stuff in the media about it, and then then it went away, of course.
Okay, but these are drones specifically, right? Like, do you actually think that they're ships carrying things, or do you just think they're alien drones?
Well, we don't know they're drones for sure. They're I'm sure some are. I mean, there's some misidentifications going on too, I'm sure, but these are very strange drones. I mean, they're huge for one thing. They're the size of fucking SUVs we're talking about. One guy said the size of a bus. They're staying up here a long time. How are they being powered? What would happen if one of these fucking things fell down and fell on a car or a house? This is insane what's going on. Why is it, you guys got $1 trillion military. Why the fuck can't they figure out what they are?
Yeah. I'm Googling now just to see the latest on this. They've even put in temporary flight restrictions in the area, and the FBI apparently is asking people for more information about what's going on. Very curious thing that's happening here. Obviously, I don't have the explanation for what's going on. I don't think anybody does. We wouldn't be talking about it if we had an explanation.
Well, the truth.
Yeah, but like, have you seen the video? Are you saying, Daniel, that the U.S. government actually does know and is just covering it up? Is that what's going on here?
Maybe. I don't know. It's just weird. Have you seen the videos? Some are quite interesting, and I saw one that was quite amazing. Like a little craft came zipped by and went into it or something. It was really weird.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of really interesting.
I've seen them too. I think a couple of weeks ago, there was kind of a trend going on about stuff in Arizona and stuff of people doing CG UFO stuff, and that was going all over TikTok. This is a very different circumstance because the stuff from a couple of weeks ago was just the only thing we had was the videos on TikTok. And this is, in this situation, we do have government bodies and people actually commenting and responding to it, which should give you pause for sure. But is it aliens, Daniel? I don't know. That's
one thing that looks to me, I even heard one reporter say or a host, it looks like people engaged in mischief.
Probably. Yeah, I believe it.
But or it could or to me, I'm thinking aliens involved in mischief, just fucking around with us.
Well, I mean, have we not been fucked around with enough by aliens? I don't know. You think some aliens specifically want to fuck with New Jersey people just cause that's pretty funny, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm kind of down for it.
No, I have no idea. No, I agree. I know. I have no idea. It's weird though. It's just, but there are some weird aspects to it though. The videos are quite interesting. One looked like a little plane that was wrapped in Christmas lights. They're so freaky, and they seem to be flying around for a long time. Like, how are they being powered? Where are they being controlled? Why can't your military, a helicopter goes up and suddenly they seem to disappear? And it's just weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. I don't know, man. I don't know. This is one of those things where I can just say, I don't know. I don't have good answers.
Yeah. Hey,
it's very bizarre.
I got to respond to Phil. I got to respond to Phil from Texas also.
Okay. Phil from Texas?
Okay.
Who was that?
Well, I don't think we had a Phil from Texas.
Phil.
Are you sure?
Yeah, you did earlier. The guy who was talking about me.
Nah, that wasn't Phil from Texas.
No, yeah, that wasn't. That was previous Leon from Texas. I think that made a comment about you. But yeah, actually, go ahead, because he was talking a little bit of shit, Daniel. So go ahead. You defend yourself, King.
Yeah, go.
I want to hear it.
Yeah, no. Phil got me wrong. Of course, I never said aliens are living on the planet like Ganymede. I was talking about the moon. Ganymede is one where I think that there are structures bubbling on the surface, but I think what they're civilization living inside the moon, and that's my point. Is that they're in a completely contained, their own self-controlled environment. Like we're talking about an advanced civilization that are like millions of years ahead of us. Like I'm not,
like older, millions of years older.
What?
Like millions of years older, or what do you mean by ahead?
Like an advanced civilization, technology-wise. Like they're not just
I just don't know that being a million years older would make them more advanced. I'm just trying to get clarification. Are they older, or are they more advanced, or are they advanced because they're older?
They've been there a long time. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hold it. Well, look how our technology is advancing from World War II, and it's an exponential rate. What do you think it's going to look like in a century from now, or
I don't know. We might not make
1,000 years from now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. But what if we do? What if we do make it? And technology keeps going the way it's going exponentially right now. And if we don't kill ourselves first, we don't destroy ourselves first, it'll be amazing. I mean,
and dangerous.
Yeah, and we're gonna fight back against those guys that are fucking with us in New Jersey. That's what's gonna happen. Stand to arms. Talk about assassinations. We got to assassinate some aliens, I think.
I think those are manned, and I think they're very little aliens.
Yeah.
Inside.
Anyway, Dan, go ahead, Dan. You were saying something.
No, I mean, back to what Phil said about me. No, yeah, no, I'm not wrong. I don't think I'm wrong about this whole thing. I mean, I'm just engaging. I'm engaging in science fiction. And, I'm not a scientist or anything, or, I'm just giving my conjecture on what I think the UFO phenomena, what's behind it, and the truth behind it. And, to explain it, like you guys, you ended the show the other time I was on, and you guys were wondering, what's Daniel? What does he think? It's kind of all over the place. What I really believe is that the UFO phenomena, what's behind it is, like I've been watching it for the last 40 years. And if you think about it, for the last 80 years, since World War II, it's been going on, and I've always wondered how can there be so many species and that interacting with humans and things, and all these incidents of abductions and sightings and contactee experiences and stuff like that. What if they really are in our solar system, but not just living inside moons and planets?
Yeah. Well, Daniel,
the anomaly channel.
I hear you. Look,
we're starting.
Here's my thing, man. Here's my thing. Okay, there are people. It's been said that a mark of ignorance, right, is somebody who can't entertain an idea, right? They listen to ideas, but they don't entertain it, right? And that's true. But there's a flip side to this, which is just entertaining ideas and believing in them for not great reasons, right? And we've had this debate before. I won't relitigate it, Daniel, but We can make conjectures about things that we're seeing all day, but at the end of the day, I am not only obliged, but I'm basically mentally forced to only believe what can be most explainable through more common and more well understood circumstances than what is to be more like out there, right? Because it like probability wise wouldn't make sense for me to jump to conclusions about phenomenon that I don't understand the basic principles of, right? I can't tell you that something is aliens if I don't know what even aliens are or what they're doing or how they could do it. I have to be able to say, well, these manned drones are probably, I think maybe you're right. Maybe people fucking around or maybe somebody doing something, but probably man-made overall, because all I know is about man-made things. I think if we're going to talk about and introduce the idea of aliens doing anything, we just have to have stronger stuff first than what's been brought to the table, you know?
Well, I think it's a matter of not just one thing, but a lot of different aspects to it, right? Like you still got those hearings going away and underway in Washington and stuff, you know.
I know.
Yeah, but you know what? Don't be surprised. Look, don't be surprised if there are factions of the government that really know what this is and they're not saying anything about it while other factions of the government don't know what it is. There are senators that are making a call to find out what's going on. There might very well be people who know what's going on, and that senator just doesn't have the clearance level or access to the program that is running these things. This could very well be a test of government capabilities, and maybe it's better for the government to peddle the idea that they don't know what it is to not only keep people from obtaining some kind of information they don't want them to have, but foreign governments, enemies, adversary nations. Maybe the government doesn't want them looking into it, so they just maintain deniability. I mean, that is so much more likely, and I'm not saying that's the case, but why not go there instead of saying, well, this one senator doesn't know what it is, so that means the whole government doesn't know what it is, and it's definitely aliens from this moon. That's a big leap, my friend, a big leap.
I really don't care what any senator says.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying what I believe. Like I admit it, I'm engaging in science fiction, and science fiction in the past has come to fruition sometimes. I'm not saying,
your own Pascal's wager, huh? On aliens. Sometimes it might be true in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I don't know. I was talking about this before the show, Daniel. There's a YouTuber, his name is Bobby Broccoli. He does these great documentaries about scandals in science. Science has had a lot of bullshit that has come out, and even big fields like physics and stuff, right? Stuff that's come out. And the one I was watching was about cold fusion, right? The long story short, you should go watch it. But long story short is that, it's bullshit. It didn't work out. These people said they did these tests. Other labs were saying they were getting tests and they were getting good results. It didn't work out. But there are people that don't accept that conclusion. There are people that accept that there has to have been something greater going on, that there was a cover up, that there's people who don't want this technology to spread, the same folks that say that we can make cars run on water and stuff like that. And I think it's because they believe in something that just isn't there. It's a belief that they want to have, not a belief that necessarily is more likely to be true. And I worry, Daniel, that this is a belief that you have when it comes to this. I worry that this is something that you more want to be true than you really have reasonable evidence to conclude, Does that worry you at all?
No, it's not. It's not a matter of wanting to believe. Like I said, there's a lot of things I want to believe. I could want to believe. Who cares what a person wants to believe? It's just what I think's happening. I think that's all the evidence points to. I mean, there's so many aspects to this UFO phenomena, and I just think that's one of the best explanations, that it is an alien a truth to it, and that the government is covering it up because it has such profound effect on our civilization. The coming in contact with a highly advanced civilization us being a more primitive civilization. If I think
the only
Yeah,
problem,
again, this is the science fiction you're talking about, Daniel. This is the science fiction, right? Like we don't have we're going to places that we don't have reason to believe are true. We haven't even started with an alien civilization even existing, let alone how old they are, right?
you're saying it's the best explanation, but it hasn't even been explained.
For me, it is. I'm just saying, like I say, I'm engaging in my conjecture, my science fiction. I'm not, like I said, it's fine if no one wants to believe me. If you don't want to believe me, that's fine. This is just how I see it. And another thing, earlier what Phil said about alien abductions, again, I don't get this with you guys. Doesn't it matter who is saying it? Like if someone comes to you and says, I was abducted by aliens, isn't the important thing who the fuck they are? Like if your mother or someone you really trusted your whole life and they suddenly came to you and said, I was abducted by aliens, wouldn't you at least give it some consideration? Holy fuck, maybe it's true. Maybe this is really happening.
Yeah, but Daniel, I have close people in my life that believe that Jesus has given them experiences and stuff too, and you would call that bullshit.
But that's supernatural.
What the heck? Why are we saying the supernatural gets ruled out, but aliens don't?
Because the aliens, I'm saying, are part of our natural universe that we know exist around us. But it's a big universe, Dan. I mean, one of the things I said to Phil when he told me about, remember when I said they were insectoids, the little beings on Mars that I think live there? I don't want to talk about it, but I call them insectoids, right? And Phil said to me, he commented that, well, the planet's too cold and the environment. He said it's a crazy idea that insects could survive on Mars, right?
Yes.
And of course, I don't think, and I have no idea what the physiology of these beings are, and I don't think they're insects. But what I wrote to him was that for decades, scientists thought what's that area, Mariana's Trench in the deepest part of the ocean. For decades, scientists thought that it would be just a sandy, barren bottom because we couldn't get robots to go that far deep because of water pressure. But when scientists finally got there just a couple decades ago, it's teeming with life. I
know. Wait, but that's first. We have pictures of the surface of Mars, though. We didn't have pictures of what the bottom of the Mariana Trench looked like. And look, we're getting off topic here. We gotta get
NASA's obfuscating those.
Okay, I know you think that, Daniel, but first of all, you definitely do care about what other people believe because you spent a lot of time today talking about what this other caller has said of you. And to be fair, I would defend myself too, right? But like, it's okay to care and to think about, what other people have to say. Like, I know other people have criticized you, perhaps mean-spiritedly, right? And I don't do that. I don't. I make jokes. But I try to treat you with the respect and dignity that I think every person that calls into the show deserves. But like, they do make good criticisms, right? Yeah, I think people, they kind of get their dunks in, but I don't ever think they're wrong, at least when it comes to like the factual evidence that you've brought so far when we've talked about this. I just don't think it's convincing. If it's only convincing to yourself and nobody else that's watching, I mean, is there not something to be said about that? At least, right? That maybe that there's something else going on here besides having to be aliens. I don't know. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, right? In a lot of rooms I go into. And I have to believe that other people at least know what they're talking about more than I do about some stuff. Why is it that the alien thing, why can't you, I don't understand, why just get so held up on this? Why continue to think that this is the best explanation for things when like so many other explanations have been proposed for like literally everything you've talked about?
I don't think so. I don't think everything's been debunked. I think a lot of the debunking is bullshit of what I hear. I don't care what people think about what I say, Dan. I appreciate you sticking up for me and stuff and giving me the time to talk. Like I say, I'm just engaging in my science fiction, what I think is happening. And I think I have a right to do that. I'm not going to let people tell me that I can't.
I'm not saying that you don't have a right to think about whatever beliefs you have, but like, I don't know, man, it's worth considering. it's worth considering that you might be wrong about this, right? I think it is. I think it is.
Dan.
But look, Danny, I'm sorry, we're out of time. I gotta let you go right now. But we can talk about it on some other episode, some other time. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. Daniel from Canada, folks. Calling back into the show. Jimmy, thoughts, questions, concerns?
No, that was we've exhausted that call.